Hi everybody, this is Lamont and Tony over here at Big Dog's Performance. And what you're looking at a crack. You're looking at a nice big old crack. This manifold was sent to us to receive our stage 2 porting. This is a Explorer GT40 manifold, and the customer wanted our stage 2 porting. Now, this manifold is not 100% stock. Okay, not 100% stock. Looks like it's been some smoothing going on, and it looks like, just looks like it's been smooth a little bit, maybe with a flap wheel. But once again, we keep telling you guys, keep showing you guys, keep proving to you guys, smooth runners don't necessarily means more CFM flow. I don't know why you guys don't listen. Or maybe this was done before the customer knew about us. But the customer was smart, and he said he wants the Big Dog's treatment. He want to go faster. He wants to make more horsepower. He wants to go out there and surprise people. So he did the right thing. He sent his manifold into us to receive our stage 2 porting and flow testing. And as you see with this big crack, a repair. Now, we recently had a viewer on our YouTube channel. He made a comment, and he said that, and these guys, they make comments all the time, and you know, we try to address the comments or reply, you know, as often as we can, to keep up with our, you know, viewer engagement. But he made a comment that our port work on a manifold that he saw running at the track, and they were trying to find a vacuum leak. And he said, oh, it was port too thin and it cracked, which caused a vacuum leak. Now, you all know that as soon as an individual has a problem with a component, part, motor, or whatever the case may be, 98.9% of the time, they blame everything except themselves. Okay? We had a few customers, you know, they are stand-up guys, and they'll say, hey, you know, I got the manifold back and I over-tightened the manifold and I broke a bolt off, or, you know, I installed the manifold with the wrong gasket and it's a leak, or I installed a sensor and I over-torqued it and broke the sensor off. They'll confess. And with those guys, we respect those guys. We respect those guys. But what we don't like is for individuals to get on social media and make claims that they can't prove. Okay, so the viewer, he commented and said, oh, you guys poured the manifold too thin and it cracked. And, you know, the amount of crap we get is unbelievable. I mean, it's like we are almost a politician or something. We get blamed for everything. And I responded and I told the guy, I said, listen, we often see and get manifolds in to our shop that's stock, that's cracked here, or they may have a crack here, or they may have a crack here. And that's due to the mating surfaces not being square, or what tends to happen is on the lowers, they over tighten them, or they used the cheap gaskets. Okay, now the cheap gaskets doesn't have the crushed metal in it. The cheap gaskets are just solid gasket material, and they tend to be thick. So what happens is, as you clamp down on these bolt holes, you may get this side may pull down a little bit more than this side. Well, as you're torquing them down, you know, and everybody loves to over torque, you will create an uneven surface here, if that surface is already uneven. Now, what we like to do, we check all of our manifolds for squareness. That's why you guys sometimes, often, when you get our manifolds back, you'll see that they've been machined. And that's because we make sure that they're level, okay, to the best of our ability. So that can cause a crack. This crack was caused, and we see this a lot. We just did a video where a customer received our manifold, and he fessed up, and he said he over tightened it. He tried to have it fixed, and they didn't get it sealed up. So we told him that, hey, send it on in, we'll do you up another one, swap it out, get you back on the road, no charge. And we went on ahead with that other one, and we fixed it up. We made it actually better than new. So this one right here, for that viewer on YouTube, this manifold has not been ported by us. Okay? This manifold, you know, if you look at it, it's still pretty much stopped. Yet and still, you see that crack? So explain that, viewer. Since our port work, you know, causes cracks. We didn't port this yet. Yet and still it's cracked. So this is what we were trying to tell you when we responded. Often people over torque the manifolds, especially the upper to lower. The upper to lower torque number is only 15 foot-pounds. To torque down the upper to the lower, it's only 15 foot-pounds. That's not a lot at all. Yet and still, you know, guys are crank them down, and if they're using a spacer, which we really don't like, you know, we really don't like the spacers. There are valve covers out there that clear aftermarket roller rocker arms that are not super tall to where you need a spacer. We actually have about 6 of them on the shelf. You know, we can get them to you in our matte black, our silver, or polished. Okay? Just reach out to us if you guys want those. Those were clear, allow you to run 1.6, 1.7 roller rocker arms with no interference, and you won't need a spacer for your Explorer GT40 upper. Okay? So we don't recommend spacers because a lot of those spacers are not flat and level. So when you put the spacer on the lower and you clamp down the upper, if it's not level, you can crack the ears. Okay? So it has nothing to do with the port work, because as you see, this one right here, we haven't ported. We haven't ported, yet it still is cracked. And we see this a lot, not just cracked here. We see it cracked on the uppers, you know, and a lot of times customers may not know if it's cracked on the upper and it's a lot of, you know, gook and carbon in there, it may not leak. So when we get it, and as you see, this one has been sandblasted, and you can see the crack very clearly. So when we sandblast them, when the guys sandblast them and they inspect them, often they'll see. Okay. Now this one, the customer told us ahead of time that it was cracked, and he asked, could we fix it? Of course we can fix it. You know, we've posted up videos of repaired parts, videos of us welding parts, TIG welding parts, and this right here, this is no problem. We're gonna fix this better than new. It's gonna be stronger than it was factory. We're going to grind this out, weld this all back in, weld some extra material around here, and we're gonna blend it. Now it's not gonna look factory like this. It's going to be beefier. So we also get guys that don't understand when we are modifying the parts and making them stronger and doing things like this. They may say, oh, what's going on here? We're making it stronger, guys. We're not going to send you parts that won't work. Okay, we're trying to get you guys to run faster, make more power, and save money. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. So we're gonna go ahead and fix this up and get this in line for the stage 2 porting. It's already gotten cleaned and sandblasted. So we have a line. Actually, what we do, we have a line, like an assembly line. We have an assembly line for the teardowns, the assembly line for the cleaning, assembly line for the sandblasting, assembly line for the various stages of porting, stage 3s, stage 2s, cylinder heads, and so on. Assembly line for valve jobs, assembly line for spring setup. So we have different assembly lines. So parts, when they come in, they get into the assembly line. Okay, now depending on how long that assembly line is, you may have stage 2 Explorer assembly line. We may have 6 uppers and 7 lowers. Well, we'll do all the uppers, we'll do all the lowers, mate them together, flow them, and then we'll look at the customer's file to see what color they want or what modifications do they want. Same thing with cylinder heads. So it's not just what you guys are typically, used to with other porters. Since we have such a large volume of parts and orders that we do on a regular basis, we had to come up with like an assembly line. And for some individuals it may take longer, but we're trying to service everybody. So you will get your parts, you will love the performance, you already love the prices. Our prices is lower than everybody else, and we do port iron heads. We specialize in porting iron heads. We port iron GT40P heads. We sell those. We port GT40 heads. We port Vortec small block Chevy heads. We port Chevy 416s, 601s. We port big block 781 heads. We port all iron heads. Okay, big block Chevy, big block Ford, small block Chevy, small block Ford, Dodge, AMC. We port iron heads. We haven't abandoned the iron head crowd. Now granted, since iron is a lot tougher to port, depending on our iron head stage 2 port job line, it may be a longer lead time. So just to let you guys know, we do the do when it comes to satisfying you. So once again, this is Tony and Lamont over here at Big Dogs Performance. See you guys at the track.